Not an authority, and I know as much as the average person walking down the sidewalk about the oil spill, but I've been reading and trying to follow it and follow what's going on, and it appears as though the real big problem is not the surface we're looking at. It's underneath that surface oil. It's going to impact the food chain. It already has. And while I'm standing here, about 250,000 gallons every day is still bubbling out of the hole in the bottom of the ocean. It's absolutely depressing. Will the Keys be impacted? Yeah, for sure. It's just a matter of time, and when the winds are blowing and the perfect storm comes, it's coming ashore. God. I was just over in St. Petersburg, Florida. The sand over there is like powder, white powder. I just couldn't imagine that oil spill coming in on that beautiful sandy beach, but it's coming. And I think the people at BP were criminally negligent. It appears as though they've had a history of things like this, and they've only been fined in the past. They only had to write a check. But, you know, I tried to look at something like this and see what's right about it. It's going to force us off of oil dependency, I believe. It's already done that I'm just one person, but I've made up my mind. I'm not buying any more gasoline. I'm saving my money, and I'm buying an electric car that I can plug in to my house that goes to a solar panel on my roof. That's my goal now because of this oil spill. And I think there are many like-minded people who are going to do the same thing, and corporations who are going to start looking in that direction now because of this oil spill. Yeah, every action has a reaction, and that's my reaction, is to do something about it on the level of one person.
Specifically with the marine mammals, is there any preparation or any considerations that you have in mind at this moment?
Not really. There's very little anybody can really do. You can't get them out of there. You hear a lot of mumbo jumbo about what we are going to do, and really there's nothing anybody can do. They're there, the dolphins are there, there's turtles that come up for a gulp of air, they ingest that oil and they go down with it, and it's a terrible thing. Well, it's not just on the surface. It's not the surface, it's below the surface. There's a lot of oil, and they're swimming through it, they're eating fish. It's the whole food chain. It's not just marine mammals, it's everything on the food chain. Putting harsh chemicals in there is putting harsh chemicals in there, and that's impacting the food chain also. They're thinking about the damage along the coastline when they do that, but there's a lot of damage going on in the sea with the chemicals that are being used to disperse the oil. Yeah, some of it sinks to the bottom, but it's still there. It's not going anywhere. Will BP be around 20 or 30 years from now because that's when the real damage, you know, from what I've seen, it's going to cost them 7 days profit to clean up this mess. Very little. But I just hope that the company stays with it and cleans it up, and we find another way to run our cars. And yeah, this is very depressing.